Hey everybody, this is Davis over at the CFG GameCast, and I'd like to thank you that you're about to listen to episode number 119 of the CFG GameCast. While recording and editing this one, we were having some issues, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get the first or at the very beginning of this episode. Do really apologize on that, but the rest of it is in perfect, pristine condition. So once the opener happens, it's going to go straight into it. So it should be fixed the next time. So once again, I do apologize for the inconvenience, but it is still the great rigmarole hullabaloo that you love to enjoy and listen. So please enjoy episode 119.
But no, the big acquisition, the one that puts Disney to shame with getting what even the Fox deal wasn't that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
No,
the Fox deal was more, I believe.
The Fox deal
was it?
Oh, well,
it had to have been more. The library of Fox.
I don't remember. I know it's bigger than the Star Wars deal.
Let's keep on going. I'll find that.
Find out the dollar amount on that. I'm curious now because I forgot. But yeah, no, I mean, Microsoft is now adding Call of Duty and Spyro and Crash and Candy Crush to their catalog because that's exactly what Game Pass needed was Candy Crush, and Overwatch 2 and Diablo and man, this is a lot of stuff. StarCraft, Warcraft. That gives me hope for things.
It does give you hope for things.
StarCraft Ghost coming back, maybe?
Hell no. StarCraft Ghost is gone, dude. Like, StarCraft Ghost was
dream.
StarCraft Ghost was like back in StarCraft 1 before 2 was even created.
Yeah, I remember because I had a pre-order and I got screwed out of my $5 by GameStop. Not paying that GameStop. Still owe me my $5.
That sounds very classic of GameStop, a very GameStop thing to do. But yeah, okay. So first off, Disney completed $71.3 billion deal with Fox Media Assets.
Oh, it was only
so that's how much
$4 billion more. That's all.
Yeah, but like
pretty close.
That is a justifiable amount, in my opinion, for what Disney was going to get out of Fox, because they get the whole library of Fox, like the media library of Fox. So that is in 20th century, Fox has been around for how long? For a long period of time, like movies, television shows, all that stuff. Decades, $71.3 billion of all this. Like, look at Activision Blizzard. Like, in my opinion, like even though Activision Blizzard is a big company towards this, their major IP that they have is Call of Duty. That's their and like you're saying, Candy Crush. Candy Crush is their big and then Blizzard's library as well. I don't know if I would agree with the amount of money that they got or that they're flaunting with on from this acquisition. And I kind of have a love-hate relationship from all of this, to be honest with you, because like here's the problem I have right now with it. Yes, this is going to be the reason why Bobby Kotick is not going to have a job. Awesome that he's not, like, this is and then everyone's going to be pretty much, I have a feeling everyone's going to be clean sweep gone. Like the upper management is not going to be there anymore. But I guess the bigger thing is the fact that he's leaving. He's going to get his big payout. And hopefully that's the last we hear of Bobby Kotick in the gaming industry world. So let's say, let's go with that. But now a new problem arises, which is Microsoft literally bought like a big company to a point where they could say, okay, I mean, it's all Activision games from now on is going to be exclusive. Like freaking like all Call of Duties are going to go back to Microsoft. All so and so is going to go back to back the way it is. Even Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, the big two that were made specifically for Sony, is not going to could possibly be like, nope, we're not going to, they could easily say, no, we're not going to do it on Sony anymore. So that's just going to be incredibly weird. Now, to their credit, Phil Spencer says that he's going to allow the contracts to still be the contracts for the contracts to still be, but that doesn't mean anything. What that means is like saying, hey, if Sony did a 10-year contract with this company, they're going to honor it still. But the second it's not going to be honored, they can easily still say we're not doing. It's not going to be a Sony exclusive anymore. It's like, because you know why? Because they spent $67 billion for the thing. They're not going to just let their competition be easily open to it and then willy nilly still be on the competing platform. So. So now we're not going to see Call of Duty's probably on. We'll see Call of Duty's like in the near future on PlayStation, but there's going to be a point where they're going to be like, once that contract is up, done. We're not going to see it on that system anymore. We're not going to see any more of the anymore like anything on like at all. No more Blizzard stuff on PlayStation. In a way, that's kind of like a godsend because Overwatch was a nightmare on the PlayStation when it came to all that, but still, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like what they did. Like, were they that in need to buy this company? I mean, what do you think?
Davis. I've been saying this on this podcast for so long now. I can't get you to buy in, but Microsoft has been laying out a plan for years now.
Oh God, here we go.
Here we go. This is only another piece in that puzzle. We know, here are the facts. We know that Microsoft has struggled with being able to put out games. They've had solid hardware and stuff like that for the most part, but their games library just wasn't enticing enough. They've completely shifted gears. They are now ahead of the pack, and PlayStation is going to be playing catch up with them. And this isn't even about, number one, it'd be stupid to make it exclusive. It'd be so dumb. Hey, this big old chunk of money, nah, we don't want it. We don't need to make up that $70 billion. Why do it? It doesn't make sense to do it. They've never been about, we just want this exclusive. They're trying to open it up. They're trying to collect IPs now to be like, look, just come to our ecosystem. You can play here, there. We've got this. We've got that. Dude, it's crazy. And PlayStation and that's the same reason, and Donk mentioned in here earlier, PlayStation took a huge hit, and they said that there's the speculation that they'll lose some exclusivity and Microsoft makes some things exclusive. Yes, I do believe they are going to make some things exclusive. Hence things like Starfield, and that will be probably more of a time limited thing. But it just doesn't make sense to me. What? No,
it's not going to be exclusive. I mean, it's not going to be time limited.
Not time limited. Just an exclusive for Xbox. But I could see some things being exclusive, time limited, and then some things I think they'll continue sharing the IPs and just making it. It just doesn't make sense to me to close off. That's never been their strategy. That was PlayStation's strategy. They are well beyond that at this point in time, and we see that it's no longer a strategy that's going to work in this digital future. And
I think that you're like, I still think you're still jumping the gun on this because, like, dude, like, first off, they didn't pivot. They've always done this. They've always bought out companies. They've tried to compete. Like, this is like back on the Xbox One. What did they do? They bought popular developers at the time, and so it could be in their ether, and then try to build up from there. Look at Rareware is the prime example of it. I would say one of the many. Then what happened? It tanked it. Like, they decided to say, oh, we're not going to make any more Conkers and stuff. We're going to make a weird banjo driving game and something else called Kamiya or whatever. But like or Cameo or whatever. Yeah, but Sea of Thieves was literally 17 years after it was initially acquired. So like prior to all that stuff, and then Perfect Dark, I guess the Perfect Dark remake and stuff, they haven't made anything for that. So like then it got to a point where Yeah, it got to a point where it was forgotten for a long time until Sea of Thieves kind of came in. So, I mean, I'm sorry, what were you going to say, Sue?
So, I mean, a lot of this was pre-Phil Spencer. Because Phil Spencer took over after the Xbox One horrible launch. And they, got rid of a bunch of their executives in the Xbox division. So, I feel like Xbox One, was drastically hampered. To also kind of support some claims, though, here. Xbox 360 era, we all remember that was the big console. Guess who didn't want to play nice? Xbox 360 wasn't playing nice back then. But again, that's Phil Spencer wasn't in charge. So it's very much dependent on who's, steering the ship. I feel like Phil Spencer has a different outlook than his predecessor. And I think we're seeing that with the Game Pass launch, things coming more to PC from Microsoft. I mean, Halo on PC hasn't been a thing since 2005, up until they put Master Chief Collection on there 2 years ago, and then the new Halo. They are opening up their borders. They've made deals with Nintendo to have Microsoft exclusive characters showing up in Smash Brothers with Minecraft. They have Minecraft on PlayStation and Switch, which Microsoft owns. I don't think they're going to make Call of Duty exclusive. No,
I'm saying this. I'm saying Minecraft was already on was already on platforms. They just didn't say they didn't pull the plug. Well, yeah, but Switch and Microsoft does have a thing, but to say that they're going to play nice with Sony, hard to say to me, because to me, when you dish out that kind of cash, $67 billion into a specific studio, you're going to want your money back. And I'm saying that there's no it would be naive of them to say that for Call of Duty, because right now Call of Duty is the primary system for Call of Duty is on the PlayStation because of the tournaments, the tournament circuits, everything is using a Sony PlayStation to play Call of Duty.
The exclusivity
Sony's sponsored. Yeah, because the exclusivity contract. The second that contract is expired, there's no way that they're going to give that to Sony.
Let me give you some numbers real quick before you start saying that. $1.91 billion. That's what Warzone is making. You take PlayStation out of that mix, you're at least taking a third, if not a half of that. Microsoft is looking at that money. They're not wanting to go, just get rid of half of that. They want the money. What they're going to do, I don't see them making Call of Duty exclusive if it continues to generate that kind of money on all platforms. Also, I'm pretty sure this has been well documented from everybody. Consoles aren't their moneymaker at this point anymore.
Right.
It's all digital.
That's the biggest point. It wouldn't make sense. Anybody, I can get Game Pass and then get those same games and still play them. There's no way they're going to make their money back just strictly from that.
Although you are seeing it on Microsoft's side though too, but look at Sony's side on how they're with Sony's side with the amount of even the amount of consoles that are going to be coming out, and then the amount of AAAs that are going to possibly coming out that's within Sony's reaches right now, even as low as as slow as the PS5 has been released because of what's been going on in the world, they still are it's still outselling Sony towards or Microsoft on this, even with that mentality. Yeah, and plus on top of that, that's not even including Sony isn't even bring on the big swings. Next month is going to be the big one that we're going to see. We're going to see when Horizon Forbidden West comes out. See how popular that's going to be when Ragnarok comes out, and Ragnarok and Sony is opening up a little bit with PC players on Steam and stuff. When Ragnarok comes out, that thing is going to blow it out the water. In my opinion, towards it. So I don't think that Sony, when you're saying everything's going to go fully digital in their platform, the reason why Xbox is in this predicament is because they got themselves in that situation to compete. The idea wasn't because they were doing that. It's because, like you were saying, the ship was turned because of Phil Spencer, and as well as good as Phil Spencer is for the brand of Microsoft, it's still a good idea. I don't think it's going to beat. I don't think the whole gaming is going to pivot to that kind of mentality. The reason why they're where they're at right now is because they don't have the exclusivities, or they don't have the games that could push on the console. That pushes the console to justify getting a console for like getting a Series X or a Series S or whatever. They and then now with Xbox Game Pass, they antiquated themselves. Saying for me though, they antiquated themselves to say there's no reason for me to buy an Xbox again. I have a powerful PC. So I mean, it's just the way you're going to play. So I'm just saying that so I'm saying like each their own on like how they're wanting to approach it, but I'm just saying overall the fact that they spent $67 billion on with Activision Blizzard. I mean, they think they're going to get their money back, but I think that they're also going to try to compete. I mean, I will not be surprised.
I agree they're going to compete.
I
just don't think it's called.
I will not be surprised they're going to shut it off.
Everything else, I will not be shocked one iota if it all goes exclusive. But
I don't think they'll make that exclusive. I don't see them
doing it to COD.
Oh, they will. They will.
I think there's
everything else
games that they'll do specific. I don't think they do it for COD. I don't think they would do it for Overwatch. You have that overlap that's already built in, that's already going to generate that revenue. You see those projections, or you know the numbers. You can start projecting it out and stuff like that. That'll cut into the cost that it costs to acquire that stuff. They make that money back easy. Then they start looking at reviving some old things from those IPs, looking to move and create other things. Who knows what kind of stuff was hampered through Activision Blizzard, just, you know, within the two companies, and them just basically turning into a workhorse of here's a few things that we do, pump this shit out and make that money. You know what I'm saying?
No, but come on, dude. Like you're saying that, but like, come on, dude. The second that when Obsidian and what's his name's the people that I hate that did Elder Scrolls, Bethesda. When Bethesda went exclusive, they pre-announced Elder Scrolls is not going to be on Sony. They pre-announced that what's it called? Yeah, Starfield wasn't going to come out on any other console except for Sony, because they know people are going to want to buy it on either or on the Xbox, or people are wanting to buy it on PC. And then I sure as hell going to buy it on PC, because I mean the game, even though the record on Sony for Bethesda games were horrendous because they didn't allow you to do the things that you're wanting to do, they were still popular. So I mean, this is going to lead like now if you have a game like Call of Duty, Overwatch, well, if there is a good Overwatch community now, because if they didn't piss everyone off yet, but like Overwatch, Diablo, all these games and stuff, to say, oh, if you want to play Diablo, you have to get it on the Microsoft system or on PC or on PC or whatever, or what's it called, get Xbox Game Pass or whatever to do it. It's going to make you want to get Game Pass. It's going to make you want to go and get a piece, maybe build a PC and just say, here you go, and do all of this. You're saying like, yeah, I understand when you were saying like that they're getting a lot of money from Sony's getting they're getting a lot of money from Sony because of Call of Duty. The Call of Duty contract is because because Sony's already paid a lot of money for them to lure people to play it on their system. So when all that is said and done, they will close. I guarantee, Smitty, we could bet this right now, but like I'm telling you, they will close that gate. I don't know, but I need to find out what their contract is. I don't know how long it's going to be.
So the contract, from what I can tell, is usually about 5 years, because Xbox 360, I remember it lasted 5 years. PS4, it lasted 5 years, and then they just renewed it in 2020. So I assume 2025 is when that contract is up. But again, like I just don't think it's necessary.
I don't think they see it necessary to make everything exclusive. You make hot titles, you give reasons.
Title.
Right, exactly.
Like Warzone. They're not moving Warzone off PlayStation ever. Never.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Warzone, I don't think it's good. Warzone would be the exception. I will agree with that, because Warzone has already been
right. And the games are tied into Warzone for progression. So like to then cut off the games makes no sense. And if they want to continue supporting Warzone, they have to continue.
I'm talking about like a story. Well, okay, fine, but Warzone, you can easily make that a free to play as opposed to story. If you want, like, you know, some people like to play for in a different kind of thing or a different kind of mode.
I think that's what
you level up your guns in the mainline game, whereas Warzone's free, and then you use the guns you've leveled up in the main game for Warzone. Like that's why they kind of like. That's kind of how they get a lot of these Warzone players to buy these.
I could totally see like Overwatch 2 going free to play with them. They making it open to everybody, and they run it like that, just free to play game.
I kind of hope not.
I think otherwise, if they don't, dude, I don't know that you're able to retain your audience. They haven't been able to retain their audience right now in the current iteration of the game. You know what I mean? Like, all right, and then maybe that's just me, and it's been. Yeah, well, that's my point. There ain't shit coming out, and we know there's nothing coming out until Overwatch 2. That's why it's like now at this point, it's like, what's the point of playing? Yeah.
Is that coming out to like 2023 or 2024 or whatever?
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know that they're going to have as much interest. So there might need to be that incentivization of just, hey, anybody can play it. They'll still have their cosmetics and do all that junk and whatnot, but make it open up. And then I think that, I mean, okay. I can see that making.
But here's the thing, though. You're talking about. You're totally against. Cheating? I know you're totally against exclusivity deals. Okay, I think we're kind of veering off a little bit, but like I will say, like the exclusivity deals itself, Smitty. But like
I'm not against them.
Well, you sound pretty strongly against. Like you don't like them.
I love the fact that they're going to be doing exclusive, exclusive content and stuff like that.
Innovation.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, though. Yeah, but here's the thing, though, overall. Well, yeah, but here's the thing, though. Like, I mean, even though it's Sony, Sony's the prime example because Sony's number one. But look at Nintendo. Nintendo is going strong with their exclusivity. Their average on their exclusivity on most of their games are around 16 million unit copies to be driving, which is insane. And this is Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Metroid, all this stuff. Yeah, those kind of things towards that with the exclusivity. And then the reason why there's exclusivity is the justification for you to buy their console. That's why. Because the second they lose it, then it's gone. Because keep in mind, Sony may have lost the group. The only difference that Sony is with Microsoft, they've built their own first party studio up from the ground up.
Right.
Microsoft has never. I mean, Microsoft has nowhere near has done what Sony has done. So like with the 12 studios that Sony has, the only one they haven't done right now was Insomniac, which they recently purchased last year. And then but like the big thing is that studios? They also purchased Bend. I believe they purchased Bend was already theirs. Yeah, Housemarque. Thank you. They've also purchased Housemarque, but Housemarque was technically like Sony was buying was using them to make certain games specifically exclusive to Sony for years now. So yeah. So those are the two that they actually went outside. They didn't build it themselves. They did it from the ground up. But all the companies, Santa Monica Studio, the whoever does MLB The Show is technically a Sony company that is now on Xbox. I mean, what's that going to tell you? What does that tell you now? Like MLB The Show is now on Microsoft, and it's still technically a Sony game. It's still a Sony game.
I thought that was just an exclusive contract that they had like built up for a few years.
That one studio only does that one game.
Yeah,
like they don't do anything else.
They just had a contract because I could have sworn they used to be on 360, and then.
No, not the show. The show is always was in house at Sony that whole time. It was that was a Sony IP.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The show was made by Sony themselves towards it. So I'm just saying that like overall like it's that it's cool and all. I'm just worried that if with an acquisition as big as Activision, coming into the mix with now their library of storied studios. Because I mean, look, they got really big studios now to a point that they should be no justification. There should be no reason why they don't have a AAA title themselves. Because like that's the thing that's been lacking on a Microsoft product forever. Besides Gears of War, and Gears of War, Halo, Forza, and stuff that was actually built in house. They need to make. I just think they need to make things that'll be like, oh, okay. Actually, an underrated one was Sunset Overdrive. That was a really good one too. But like,
Insomniac.
The Insomniac. But they just need like something that veers off a little bit. That's not saying, oh, this is a Microsoft system, or something that shows off what Microsoft can really do, instead of just saying, hey, let's buy this studio and then let's see what they're going to we'll just use their thing and call it exclusives to our cause. No, they need a new IP. It's what I feel like they need to do.
I want to say they're going to stop the yearly CODs, hopefully, because they have 3 different development.
They need to stop that. It is
a different COD. Like, hopefully, they just have like one major studio working on a game with support studios helping, and then like take like Sledgehammer or whichever devs they want to take and put them on something else.
Yeah.
See,
no more
COD. Because like this is what kind of what I'm talking about with I don't know if I say your name right. Is it Hish W Bingo? I don't know. Sorry if I butchered your name, but it says if I was looking into a crystal ball, I'd say Sony is too far behind to compete or try to go ahead to with Microsoft's Game Pass. What Sony have that's different? I think Sony might pivot and focus the VR offering instead. Trying to outdo Game Pass. They don't need to beat Game Pass.
No, like they have some killer offerings already. Yeah,
there is 2 ways. Game Pass is doing their thing. Microsoft is doing, or Sony's doing their thing. There's no way now. If Sony is going to say we're going to go all in on their digital library, like they've been wanting to do, or that they're wanting to do to compete with Game Pass, there's absolutely no reason for them to do it. Because you know why? Sony's strength is their exclusivity, their exclusive AAA titles. And now that they expanded their AAA titles to Steam, I can't even remember the name of the game. Days Gone and God of War from that happened 3 years ago. I mean, it's going to pick up even more. I mean, God of War on Steam came out last week and it's already sold almost 7 million units.
And it works really well alone.
Right.
Too.
Yeah. And then
Horizon's on
just Steam alone. Yeah, and these are games that have been out for over almost 4 or 5 years. And then that and we already know what's coming. Ragnarok's coming. Ragnarok's gonna be a big one. Horizon Forbidden West is gonna be a big one. Final Fantasy 16 is technically exclusive on that. I mean, Old Republic is probably is gonna be a time exclusive. They don't need a Game Pass. Microsoft needs Game Pass, because can you imagine if Microsoft didn't have Game Pass?
It would just be Xbox One again.
We would have a completely different conversation of how bad.
I would still be like, I've never played a Halo before. That's what it'd be like without Game Pass, dude. I love it. I love the fact that I'm able to access games. I thought Tokyo says people forget Sony has PS Now, which has started before Game Pass. Not sure on that, and rumors has it they are combining PS Now with Plus, or with Plus.
Oh yeah, I saw
PS
that
Plus.
report.
There's
it's like a 3-tier system.
Yeah, Project Icarus or something like that. I don't know what it's gonna include and whatnot, but it's at least gotten me excited, because PS Now I feel like has been an afterthought. I was like, why?
It didn't work that well, from what I remember.
Yeah. It's expensive. I think it's more expensive too. But it's the way they do it. They're treating it like rental.
Yeah,
as
I don't like that, dude.
And it's probably easier for Microsoft. They have the infrastructure. Sony probably doesn't have the same stuff.
Oh yeah.
Let's remember, Sony actually bought into Microsoft's infrastructure as well. Here, that was last year, I want to say, or maybe even the year before
with the cloud computing.
Yeah.
I mean, this was really strong. So
I'm hoping that they're utilizing that into whatever they're going to be releasing here. I think it's coming out sometime in the spring, I want to say. Is when this new PS Plus Now tier systems coming.
Hybrid. But yeah, well, because right now when you use PS Plus, you're not buying when you get a PS Plus account. Excuse me. You're purchasing like something specific in it. You're not getting the library of PlayStation, PS Plus, not PS Plus, but PS Now. Sorry, with PS Now, you're not. You're renting a specific game, or you'll be like, okay, you can play this game for a certain period of time, kind of like a digital blockbuster kind of thing. It was really weird, but yeah, and then but for Game Pass, they give you like a library, like a mini library of free games that you can all play, that you can play. Some of them are exclusive, some to Microsoft, some of them are not, and then they give you a period of time until you be like, okay, here you go. And I don't know, but if you downloaded the game, do you get to keep the game, or does the game shut off? Like, have you ever done that? Like, has that ever happened to you? Like, when the game gets removed off of Game Pass, but you've installed the game on your system.
Oh, like you installed it won't let you. It won't let you. There was a whole issue with Destiny on Game Pass recently, because Destiny got pulled from Game Pass. So people that didn't own the expansions now suddenly didn't have access to like their stasis subclass that they had earned. They don't have access to all the content. It's like, yeah, it's installed, but guess what? You don't have the license now. You can have a game installed on your thing. If you don't have that digital license that says I own this, and to some degree, it ain't gonna work.
Then so if it's locked, it's locked. There's pros and cons for all of it, how it normally goes. So but right now I think I don't want to pay for, like, my mentality with PS Now. I don't want to play games that I've already played before in the past and then just buy one game and play it on cloud service. I think it's a waste of money, and I don't want to do it. But if they change the mentality, because maybe I'll give it more of a better shot. But so far and right now, nah. I mean, Game Pass is a hell of a lot better than what Sony's offering on that.
Yeah, but 432 games on Game Pass last time I looked. That's what Monkey Blood said. Yeah,
and you can do it on Xbox or PC, or both if you have both, which is really good. Yeah. It's like $10 for either, or $15 for both.
Yeah, the mentality is just like a lot better on Microsoft's side, and I'm for. I mean, you know what? If people want to play games, or they want to play the game the best way that they can play it. If they want to play it even cheaper like that, all that matters is that you are enjoying it itself. But I'm just saying that Microsoft has a good product with that. It was a good pivot move to focus on their Game Pass, because if they didn't, Microsoft would probably not be would be in a hell of a lot worse.
We'd be having a different conversation.
Right now. Yeah, completely different conversation. What it is right now. But to say that they're close or Sony's behind, I'm more like saying Sony is doing their own thing, and Sony doesn't need to worry, because we already know Sony players going to have their own thing, because in Nintendo, I mean, it's all good. But Nintendo's a perfect example. They literally go by the beat of their own drum. They don't care.
They don't care.
And it's perfect.
Nintendo.
They do some weird stuff. That's how we got the Switch and the Wii. They did their own thing.
Yeah. And that horrendous thing called the Wii U. So
I don't know what you're talking about. I never owned
it. The one game I had on Wii U was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I just play that all the time.
You didn't even get the Twilight Princess remake thingy?
You already know I hate Zelda, man.
Oh, that's right. You have no taste. My bad.
That was a burn.
I mean, you're the one that said Zelda was trash, so,
Zelda is trash.
Well, you're reaffirming what I said.
There's like two Zeldas that are not on that list, and we already know which ones those are. So
we should really just rename this the Smitty GameCast, because CFG's opinion is bad. No, I'm kidding. Love you, CFG.
I love it. Hilarious. I love it.
Yes, that's right.
So why is it got
the word Stadia?
You're right. This is a great time to bring this up again. So, what do you play on Stadia, Smitty? Because you got it all, right?
I don't play anything on Stadia, dude. Stadia,
but you have it?
Cloud gaming was the worst. I did, because David hooked me up with a code.
Smitty is the only person That's the only platform that you were so negative on. When I think about
the cloud technology is pretty solid for what they can do. But why am I going to pay them to then pay for a game full price? There is absolutely no incentive to play and use Stadia
for free.
Exactly. It's like they rushed that, dude. That like the technology though, they're definitely like as far as their technology cloud wise, is pretty stable of the cloud services. I haven't tried GeForce Now. At least I've heard some game. I haven't really heard any issues with their stability from that. At least not nowadays. Maybe when it first came out. I don't know.
Oh, GeForce Now?
No.
I remember Stadia was sporadic. Like some people were fine, some people had horrible times.
Okay.
Stadia is slowly. I think Stadia is slow. Well, xCloud. The problem was with Stadia. Stadia was talking with their mouth saying this could do 4K, 60 frames per second. When you don't have a device that can run at 4K, it's like, oh, okay, well, let's do it. And then it's like it was laggy, it was clunky, and stuff. xCloud's highest that they got was a 720p. On it logically, because 9 times out of 10, if you're going to be playing it on the phone, do you need 4K on the freaking phone? Right. No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, I got a Pixel. I need that. Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh, because you know what? 4K is a buzzword, and then they lived and died by that word, and I think that was the problem with Stadia itself. So
that's impossible, dude. That's impossible. Why do you like to try to push that? Like. That's a ton of data. That is a ton of data. And you're not sitting there playing video games in short spurts of time. You want to get it in. So it's just like, come on, man. Yeah, like, that's not even realistic. At least not right now. And for what, like, infrastructure wise as a whole, it just, I mean, who's got the infrastructure to be able to actually support that?
I think the problem also is, also, the big problem is encoding because they don't use normal encoding. They use in-house encoding, like when you usually go with like a .286. I'm sorry for the nerd vomit, but the 286 like a 286 format, as opposed to like the GeForce had their own encoder. They had to have a special encoder on their servers for it to work. I don't know what Luna does, but the one thing I know that how it works. How the reason why Luna is solid is because AWS is the shit. Yeah, right. So like, I mean, there's no like if, ands, or buts with it. So there you go. So we'll see. I mean, especially if a company like if it can hold the library of Netflix, because Netflix doesn't own any servers.
No, it's all
it's all cloud. It's 100% cloud, and I'm just like, then yeah, you got something there, So yeah. So yeah, that's why it's not on Stadia. So yes, to answer your question there.
Does Stadia even get new games anymore?
They do. They still do.
Yeah. No, that's still. I thought it was gonna die for sure, or I thought I was gonna die out faster than what it has, but it's sticking around. It's doing things, I think.
Yeah. Well, Twiggy confirms that GeForce Now was really good when I had when she had the Potato PC. So.
I want to, but that one was weird because they had the thing where, like, once they came out of beta, the publisher or some of the publishers like, "Whoa, we didn't get our piece of the pie. You're gonna have to pull that game off, homie." And then it got weird. I think they're building up. They've been building up, but that made me a little more hesitant, and I don't know why. I still would like to try GeForce Now.
Yeah, I wouldn't see what the reason why it wouldn't be.
But then I got Luna, try it. And then I was like, "Well, why do I need it?"
That's a good question,
I'm practicing restraint. I'm practicing restraint.
No, your restraint would be to shut off one of your other 12 rental services that you have on your other systems. That's the restraint that I'm looking for.
Oh,
you'll be like, you know what? I was like, I have Luna. There's no reason for me to not have to have the following EA Play.
Which comes with Game Pass, which is hilarious.
No, right? Epic Games or whatever monthly, like the following. Then I would be then come back to me and be like, yes, Smitty, I'm proud of you.
There we go. There we go. A different story. And that's mainly because my I don't know why, but for some reason my Xbox account or whatever is weird. I always have troubles getting into it and stuff like that, and it's a pain. So I don't actively look on there to get stuff. I just know that certain games are going to come out there, And when they do, then I'm able to get them.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, you have a method to your weird madness. But okay, Smitty, what about you? What are you bringing to the table?
Oh, we're going with me next.
Yeah, we're going with you.
Oh, snap. I didn't think it was going to be me. Mine was kind of just a little cap at the end.
You want to omit? No. You want to omit because we can cut yours.
Go ahead, because I know that we've gone long. Mine was Yeah, we'll sneak it in. We'll sneak it in at the end. We'll just do a little mention at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. My topic is oddly enough something within Blizzard. Blizzard themselves. From the Activision. So we all know the big thing was the Activision merger. That's the Activision buyout with Microsoft, which is a good and bad thing. We'll see how that's going to go. But what's interesting is that yesterday, Blizzard Entertainments themselves posted on their website on blizzard.com saying that they're putting their teams and players at the forefront of everything that they do. And like, I don't know if that's a deafening statement. I mean, it is to me, in my opinion. I think it really is to me because of like, out of everything that has currently happened and everything that they've been working for and stuff like that, to come out and just say we're doing this for the players, we're doing this for the people that are playing WoW and stuff, and then you just see this, like, what they say when they're hearing about the players. It's like, it's death. Yeah, y'all are just doing what y'all think is reactionary on just making sure that you're going to CYA, which is cover your ass if you don't know what that means. But still, so I was reading some of this. I'll read the short thing of it, but the bullet points is probably the best thing I think I liked about this. So let's go with the bullet point. So he says he wants to encourage in reading forums. I think this must be a new guy, because this is how I feel like it's like, oh, a person wants to make actual change, but we'll see. But he wants to show encourage in reading forums, social posts, and emails from people within and outside of Blizzard, standing up for what is right and lending us your guidance. It's like, I want you all to know that we are listening and we are committed to change. As a first step towards improving communication with the community, I wanted to highlight some of the initial actions that we're taking to improve our culture. Okay, so here's the actions that they're going to do. We're measuring our executive and management teams directly against culture improvement. This means that their and my own success and compensation will directly depend on the overall success in creating a safe, inclusive, creative, and work environment at Blizzard. So basically, like what a regular corporate office should be like. Okay, let's see. Let's go with that. Then it says we're dedicating more full-time roles and resources to improving our culture. All too often, this important effort falls to employee resources groups filled with the people who already have full-time jobs. A few of the leadership positions we've established for this new team includes a culture leader who will help us maintain the best aspects of what we have today, and change and evolve where needed to ensure everyone brings their best self to Blizzard. A new organizational leader for human resources who will build trust, empower our team, and help foster a safe, positive work environment for everyone. A diversity, equity, and inclusion leader, which is that I have never heard one of those. That's pretty interesting.
I have.
You really? I've never seen that. That's cool. Leaders solely focused on their progress across multiple efforts in the area. We are committed to staffing these teams as a priority. We tripled the size of our compliance and investigation team and have articulated clear accountability for unacceptable behavior. This applies to all employees to Blizzard, including leadership and management. We have shared representation data internally with our teams and have set goals around improvement across these metrics. We put in place an upward feedback program so that employees have confidence in evaluating management, and we will use to measure the quality and effectiveness of our managers. So they're basically approaching themselves in a new kind of way with staffing their people, kind of hold accountability. But man, I don't know if that's gonna Maybe if we didn't hear anything about a buyout, I would be like, okay, you're full of it, kind of thing. But now it's kind of like, I can kind of see where you're going with this. I see that that's what you're going to do, but some of these things are kind of weird to me, like a culture leader that's going to help maintain the best aspects of what it is today. So what is that supposed to mean? Is that a paid position? Like you're a culture leader, or, I mean, what is that? To me, I don't understand that, like that kind of position for it.
It essentially is like checks and balances is what it creates. It's specific to cultural needs and things of that nature. That person's solely focusing on those types of issues. So think of it almost like a subsect of HR department, but they focus on that specifically. I is the way I kind of see it. Again, I don't know what that means exactly, especially for within a company like that. A lot of this stuff is buzzwords.
For HR, I don't trust it.
Well, that's what it is, because technically they're even saying that there's something that's gonna monitor HR essentially, like how HR is going to react in themselves is because who's the people supposed to monitor HR? It's like technically if you're
Britokyo said so they didn't have HR before this. They did, but we found HR was complicit within everything that was going on.
I mean, it was like everybody there. Just
it was literally like it was everybody. Exactly.
Any sort of management, they're involved.
Yeah, there was no
right.
Yeah, it was it was sexist. It was incredibly sexist. It was incredibly it was racial. It was very racial toned, and it was also very like and no one really gave a crap about the people's people's care. Because remember, I think the big one is the primary is the girl that committed suicide because of what her boss kind of led him to it, because just to freak her out
on the company trip.
So on the company trip. So that in itself just should just say it all in itself. Y'all lost a person because how your upper management treated your own people, and then how they just thought they were just able to freely talk the way they wanted to talk. So, I mean, it's BS. But I'm just saying that it's weird where this is their answer for all of this, theoretically. Now, for instance, it's a diversity, equity, and inclusion leader solely focused on the progress across multiple efforts in the area. I'm assuming they're making sure that they're going to hold them accountable to be making sure the people that aren't white essentially is or LGBTQ
I think,
and stuff like that.
Way beyond
all
that
stuff. Yeah, I mean to be treated fairly, but do you really need that?
I don't know if because I was in something similar where I worked with a company. It was a privately owned company. They got bought out by a corporation, and the corporation, they came in with their this is our standards. People that did not fit that or were doing things got let go. We basically all had to sit down and be like, what is it that you do exactly? This and that. Here's the implementing of changes, because some things that was happening were super toxic. So we started having more meetings with people. We formed committees so that the normal people that are on the line had a voice and a say in the room, whereas before it wasn't happening. So I feel like part of being able to move forward as a company, these are things that they kind of put in place to reestablish what those guidelines are and what what that looks like, and then they move forward from there. So I mean, to me this makes sense, and this clearly is showing that they are directly acknowledging as well. Here are some areas that we allowed to be abused on that level that we have to directly address. And this is where we're getting these subsects of a diversity, equity, and inclusion, and having a culture leader, there being checks and balances, and somebody monitoring what HR is doing as well. So this I think this is pretty standard as far as, hey, this is what we're going to do moving forward. These are our first steps as a company. And especially with the news of this Microsoft deal, it's almost like being able that weight getting lifted off your shoulder, being able to breathe a little bit and be like, all right, guys, here's here's what our next steps are, because nobody's been able to talk. Because, again, we know that this thing's been in motion for a while. So they've been sitting on a lot, and there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. So, like, this is finally that exhale, and that these are the steps that we're going to do to move forward.
Right. Well, I mean, like, okay, so I'm just saying is this, like, this is what, like, now since we know that the merger is going to happen, or the merger, I don't know why I'm calling it a merger, but the buyout is going to happen. I can understand that. Well, like, I feel like this is something that this is going to be used as a coasting until it's official. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, like, this is not something a deal like this is going to take time to do. And I think Zuzu mentioned that it was going to happen when 2023, right? When it's fully acquired by Microsoft. That I feel like this is the guidelines that this is going to run, because the second that it's going to go into the Microsoft world, like or Xbox world or whatever, they're going to have their own things at play at that point. And I think that where it's going to be like, I don't think that they need this kind of stuff, this kind of monitoring, or, this kind of deal. And then in that case, then that is perfectly fine, because right now we know the slime that is currently running this company is still going to be running this company for another year. So he's not he's not off the hook yet, even though with all of this. But like, I think this is probably more like, this is how it's going to be until the acquisition happens.
Right.
Like the guidelines and stuff for it. So that's the way I'm kind of gathering on this. And then at the same time, it's kind of like, a person saying that they're saying the right things, but I feel like they're not going what are they going to do? Like, I don't, I mean, that's how I feel. Like, it's like, it doesn't seem like it's like, yeah, they know that they did wrong, but they at the same time, that they're not going to do, nothing's going to change until the real change is going to happen when everyone's gone on the upper management staff, and they build it down from what's going to happen, what they're going to do for Activision and how they're going to do all these games. Because, like, keep in mind, it's when you see Activision Blizzard, it's not just Activision Blizzard. You got Sledgehammer Games. You got the studio who does all, like, there's 4 studios alone.
Treyarch,
Infinity Ward, all these different groups that's going to be coming down with that acquisition to come in. There's going to be a lot of work that's going to be done to kind of keep this, to keep that infrastructure to keep on going. And I think that, like, they need, and then now, since Blizzard was the one that got, was the focal point of this, of their, mentality and stuff, then they're the ones that'll be like, okay, we need to put some sort of kind of checks and balances until then, until then, so everyone feels kind of safe and somewhat secure, So, that's the way I look at it, even though I don't believe one word that this thing is telling you.
And who is it that said
Bobby
this?
Kotick is still there, so
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Who's saying who's saying this?
Mike
Like,
Ybarra.
who's implementing this stuff?
Oh, this is Mike Ybarra. He's I guess he's the CEO. He was the co-CEO with the girl.
Oh, okay. I got you.
With it. But so hopefully, so he might be gone too. So, I mean, but he was he got in place with all of this, but we'll see. But here's another thing though, too. I think that they're going to be in a cruise control position, because they've already delayed all their games that for the year. So we know that there's not going to happen. Hell, there's not going to be another. You obviously know there's probably not going to be another BlizzCon until this year either. Any of this kind of stuff is going to happen. All they're going to do is just stable goals, as small as they possibly can. Just keep on doing with WoW. Keep on doing what they're doing with Overwatch. Overwatch is technically. Yeah, and technically, officially, right now, Overwatch is a dead game. I mean, like, theoretically, because they're not.
Yeah, we're all on Paladins, man.
They are all on Paladins now. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, theoretically it is. They're not doing any updates. There's no more, not updates. I mean, they're not doing any expansions. No new add-ons, no new skins, no new heroes,
no modes.
New skins. They're still doing new skins.
They still want your
new skins. Yeah.
They're just not going to do anything of substance.
Oh yeah, so nothing of substance that they're going to do. It's going to be every day. And then you know what the mentality? My mentality would be like, why am I going to buy a skin when Overwatch 2 is going to be coming out whenever, or if they're going to be doing the bare minimum to keep this game up? It's like there's no reason to purchase anything. Your Overwatch account, because I remember you had like how many bins did you have? Like 200, 300? Like, because you're wanting to wait till Overwatch 2 comes until you opened it, right?
Boxes, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't even remember. I was at like 400, dude. I was close to 400.
Yeah, you were up there.
He had 400 bins.
When we get close to actually releasing Overwatch 2, we will open them. I may grind it up just to collect more, just to see
you're going to stream that, right? You're going to be like, exciting new Overwatch 2 gameplay. Watch me open loot boxes for 5 hours.
We will just chat and open loot boxes.
Yes. You see him with his smoker jacket on again. He has a corn pipe on while he's doing all of this. Yes,
like, I'm about to play this on Game Pass, maybe BlizzNet, I don't know.
Right? It's like, is there a way I could play this on my Luna?
On Stadia, you say I'm reconsidering.
I mean, I still have it on PlayStation too. I can always play it on PlayStation. But
I don't know about that.
No, you can't. After you played it on PC, it's hard to go back to play it on PlayStation. It just doesn't feel the same.
It's a completely different like community. That's what it is, because it's like the controller players and
completely like it's way slower on PlayStation than it is on PC.
Oh, yeah, and frames per second, and the fact that you can smack talk and text chat on PC.
Like you surprised Twiggy. It's like 400 loot boxes.
Yeah. You think that's a lot? You should see how many Kitty Chaos has. She's got to at least have 600 by now.
Smitty has like a method to his madness, in other words. So that's basically where it comes down to. Yeah, I got some skins. Well, it's got some future skins apparently, so we'll see. Okay, so we are out of time on this, so we'll probably just do a rain check on your topic, Smitty. Or what's your topic?
Just very quickly, on an Italian Parliament Zoom call, about 30 minutes into it, the senators were preparing to hear the testimony of Nobel Prize winning physicist Giorgio Parsi. However, partway through his introduction, an unknown person entered the call and began screen sharing a sexually explicit video of Final Fantasy VII's Tifa Lockhart.
Oh,
dude. Come on.
Oh, no.
That would have been so hilarious to be in on that call. And to see
my God.
Man, dude.
Oh, my God.
The U.S. Senate ain't got shit on the Italian Parliament. That's all I heard today. My God, I'm going to tune in to whatever channel I can for the next session.
They have it's on the C-Spunk channel now.
As a presumably fan-made video continued playing for a brief moment as Senator Maria Laura Mantovani and her assistant frantically attempted to get it off the screen. The audio continued for several seconds after the image disappeared. To his credit, Dr. Parsi immediately resumed his prepared statement once someone managed to completely shut down the offending video.
Oh my God, he still kept on going? That's pretty baller.
Yes, it's pretty baller.
What a Chad.
I would have laughed my ass off, dude. I don't care who you are. I would have laughed my ass
I would have been
that would have been the highlight of my life.
Yeah. That would have been amazing to experience right there. It's like, oh, Jesus. Oh, hey, that's nice.
Which video? Asking for a friend.
Just asking for a friend.
Got to do some more research, guys, just to make sure.
I need the research, for science. Yeah. This is what we're all here for, right? I mean, we have a Nobel Prize winner. Oh my God!
I thought that was a funny story.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was like, you can't not mention that.
True, we gotta at least mention that, dude.
I was like, He had to say something on it. I had to. So no, that was definitely
whoever did that. Absolute mad lad.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
He should run for president.
Freaking
President of France.
Freaking goated.
There you go. He has my vote, even though my vote means nothing since I'm not a citizen. But we'll go with that. Guys, thank you for watching, listening, and hearing us out and being a part of the conversations of episode number 119. We will be back again next Friday at around the same time, hopefully at 8. We were an hour or like 30 minutes late. We started at 8:30, dude. No, well, my time. 8:30 my time. It was 6:30 your time. Yeah, so you're right. It isn't 8 technically, but we are 30 minutes over towards it. But we're getting better, theoretically, because we got some new stuff and new technology, so we'll go with that. But guys, we if you missed this episode that live, that is perfectly okay. You can check us out. We always release it on Monday at the beginning of the week, each and every week on our main website, CFGgeeks.com, or you can check it out on all podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, what have you, on any podcast service out there. We are there, so there is no excuse to not listen to our sexy voices. So guys, we will be back again next week. Thank you for coming by as always, and thanks Zuzu for filling in again. We appreciate it. It's always good to have your back on that. So this is Davis, Zuzu, and Smitty signing off. Y'all take it easy.